For 5 years, a mysterious woman moved through exclusive penthouses and VIP lounges, introducing herself as pop star Elena Winters' private alias, Vanessa. She charmed the wealthy elite with intimate Hollywood stories and always paid in cash, explaining she preferred keeping things simple just like before the fame. What happened at her surprise birthday party in Stockholm made her champagne glass freeze mid-toast. Elena Winters stepped out of her chauffeur-driven car, designer sunglasses catching the light as she glided into one of Singapore's most exclusive restaurants. The maitre d' rushed forward with a respectful bow, escorting her to a private dining area where wealthy business executives waited eagerly. She introduced herself as Vanessa to the table, explaining it was her middle name and an alias she used to maintain privacy while taking a break from her public life. Elena moved with the natural confidence of someone accustomed to the spotlight. She ordered champagne for the table, casually mentioning her recent travels and sharing stories about other celebrities who were genuinely her old friends and colleagues. When the bill arrived, she pulled out a thick envelope of cash, explaining to her companions that she preferred keeping things simple, just like before the fame. For 5 years, Elena navigated the most exclusive social circles across 3 countries, living a more private life away from cameras and paparazzi. Her approach was refreshingly down-to-earth. She would arrive in a new city, connect with interesting people, and enjoy the luxury lifestyle she had earned through her successful music career. To those closest to her, she used her middle name, Vanessa, as a way to separate her private life from her public persona. The timing made perfect sense. Elena had indeed stepped away from public view. Her management had released a statement citing personal reasons for her extended absence. This created space for her to enjoy some normalcy while still maintaining her lavish lifestyle. In Singapore, Elena rented a penthouse overlooking Marina Bay. She hosted intimate gatherings where she entertained friends with behind-the-scenes stories about her music career. She spoke of upcoming albums and exciting movie deals, opportunities that required investments. These exclusive investment opportunities seemed like golden tickets to her wealthy companions, who were eager to be associated with such a prominent figure in entertainment. After 6 months in Singapore, Elena announced she needed to travel to Dubai for a confidential recording session. She collected investments for her new ventures, promised returns, and bid farewell to her Singapore friends. In Dubai, she established herself in another luxury high-rise and connected with a new circle of affluent individuals interested in the entertainment industry. In each city, Elena maintained one peculiar habit that eventually became part of her mystique. She always paid in cash. When friends asked about this unusual preference, especially for someone of her wealth and status, she had a charming response. She would laugh softly and explain that her accountant would have a fit if he knew how much she really spent. Some things that she insisted were better kept private. Her Dubai residence became known for exclusive gatherings where she would occasionally perform private acoustic versions of her hits. These intimate performances were special treats for her closest friends. She collected millions from investors eager to be part of her private ventures before moving on to her next destination, Stockholm. In Stockholm, Elena rented a historic apartment in the city's most prestigious district. She quickly integrated herself into the social scene, attending galas and private events. Her story remained consistent. She was taking a break from the demands of fame, using her middle name as protection from the public eye while still enjoying the benefits of her successful career. Stockholm's elite welcomed her warmly, just as those in Singapore and Dubai had before. At a charity gala, Elena found herself engaged in conversation with a plastic surgeon who expressed professional admiration for her features. What nobody in Stockholm's social circles realized was that while Elena was enjoying her private life in Sweden, something unexpected was happening back in the entertainment world. After years of silence, news began emerging about the real Elena Winters. She had apparently been battling a severe health condition, a diagnosis of Guillain-Barré syndrome that had left her paralyzed for months. This surprising news reached Stockholm through an entertainment segment on a morning television show. A financier who had invested heavily in Elena's projects watched in confusion as the real Elena Winters discussed her illness and her plans for a comeback tour. The dates mentioned by the real Elena directly contradicted events that their Elena had claimed to have attended. The financier shared this concerning discovery with others in their social circle who had also invested in Elena's ventures. There seemed to be a disturbing discrepancy that needed explanation. Together, they decided to seek answers in a subtle way that wouldn't cause embarrassment if there was a simple explanation. They organized what they described as a surprise birthday celebration, coincidentally shared by Elena Winters, according to public records. The event was planned at one of Stockholm's most exclusive venues, with their Elena as the guest of honor. Everything was arranged with meticulous attention to detail, including some special surprises. The evening began beautifully. Elena arrived wearing a stunning gold dress, beaming at the exclusive gathering arranged in her honor. She moved through the crowd with her usual charm, accepting birthday wishes and compliments, genuinely touched by the thoughtfulness of her Stockholm friends. The moment of truth came when they presented a birthday cake. As Elena prepared to make a wish, someone turned on a television positioned strategically in the room. On the screen appeared another Elena Winters, giving an interview that none of them had seen before. Elena's champagne glass froze mid-toast as her eyes fixed on the screen. The room fell silent as everyone watched, not the television, but her reaction. The color drained from her face as the carefully constructed world around her began to collapse. The woman in the gold dress was not Elena Winters at all. As handcuffs clicked around her wrists, police officers who had been waiting discreetly stepped forward. The stunned guests watched as the woman they'd known as Elena was escorted from the party. It would be days later when the real Elena Winters released a statement explaining everything. The actual Elena revealed she had been battling a severe case of Guillain-Barré syndrome, an autoimmune disorder that had left her paralyzed for months. This was the true reason for her absence from the public eye. While fighting for her life in a hospital, she had no idea someone was stealing her identity and using her name to commit fraud across multiple countries. This betrayal of trust wasn't just about her. It was about everyone who had been deceived by this imposter. Investigators later identified the imposter as a former hospital janitor who had cleaned Elena's room during her treatment. She had studied Elena's mannerisms, speech patterns, and personal history. She collected information from magazines left in the room and overheard conversations between Elena and her visitors. When she eventually left her job, she had everything she needed to become the person she had been observing. The investigation revealed that over 5 years of deception, the imposter had amassed more than $7 million through her schemes. Despite her attempts to hide the money in digital currency, authorities managed to freeze most of her offshore accounts. She was charged with multiple counts of fraud, identity theft, and money laundering across 3 countries. Legal experts predicted she would face at least 15 years in prison, with additional cases still being uncovered as more victims came forward. Her downfall became a cautionary tale about trust and identity in our modern world. The woman who had once cleaned hospital rooms now found herself in a prison cell. Her brief taste of luxury and fame replaced by the consequences of her elaborate fraud. Would you have spotted the deception, or might you too have been charmed by a confident stranger with intimate knowledge and a striking resemblance to someone famous? And perhaps more importantly, are you certain that the wealthy or influential people in your life are truly who they claim to be?